Like, oh snap, this is about to be amazing thing for the whole country. I felt great. And then as soon as I opened up my phone, I was inundated by just toxicity coming at me. They want to beat you down. If they cannot beat you down physically, they want to beat you down mentally. And they know that we are on social media and we are looking at TV. There is so much bullshit on TV. His energy, it just exudes divisiveness. Nothing of his energy exudes bring everybody together for the common good of America. It really breeds left against right. It's so detrimental, like, to just the thought of him winning. We see what happened when he was in office. We see what happens when he did not get elected and the temper tantrum that he threw. We saw the insurrection, lying in court, getting convicted for a felon. Focus on the things that you have control over and the things that you don't. Do what you can. And all we can do is go to the polls and vote for Kamala Harris and keep it moving. Welcome to another episode of the That's Scary with Meloney P podcast. I'm your girl, Meloney P, and we are here to have a conversation. If you are like me, and I know you are if you're watching, all we're seeing on TV is the election. And I am trying to be intentional about how I bring content to my podcast as it relates to the election, not only for you, but for both of our mental health, right? There's been ebbs and flows, I feel like, with this whole presidential election, right? And it can play, and it is actually playing it's playing heavily on our mental health. And I think it's playing heavily more than we know. We're looking at the news. We are seeing people have their comments that are negative about Kamala Harris, about, people who are voting for Kamala Harris, specifically Black women. And we have to really protect ourselves and protect our mental health during these next couple of months specifically, because I'm going to tell you my emotions and how my emotions have ebbed and flowed in a scary way this week alone. So I think it was Sunday when Biden announced that he would be, withdrawing from the running as, the next president. And then we knew that Kamala Harris was going to step in, and literally me and my household spent the whole afternoon on CNN, talking about what this means, how this is going to impact us, how this is going to impact the election, right? So then that was Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, it went from, okay, cool, I'm gonna post an episode about this. And then I saw the dumbass comment from that thing named Charleston. And he wasn't alone. I saw I've seen and I continue to see a lot of just, toxic badgering of Black people, specifically Black women, because of, people's fear to have a Black woman or a minority female, be the next president. And it's very, very, very scary but then you see Sonia Massey, you see how she was murdered in her own home. And all of this is happening this week ain't even over. And the emotions are so, so high. And I know that I'm someone that has dealt with and is dealing with, mental health and anxiety and things of that nature. What's happening right now in America is something that you cannot hide from. So you have to really, really guard yourself, guard your eyes, take social media breaks. I've been doing that. And just when you feel yourself getting too emotionally impacted by all of this conversation, some toxic, some just demeaning conversation about the presidency and the attacks. If you feel yourself, feeling overwhelmed, go for a walk, call a friend, watch a funny movie, but don't let it impact you the way I feel like certain people want it to impact you, right? At the end of the day, this is a vote. Either you're going to vote left or you're going to vote right, and then you're going to walk away. You're going to go to the voters poll, vote for who you who you're going to vote for, and then you're going to walk away. But in these next couple of months, it's going to be a lot in front of our faces, a lot of attacks, a lot of, okay. And, I have an amazing therapist that I found. I was talking to her last week about anxiety and having anxious feelings about certain things. And she gave me some of the, this stuff that therapists give you sometimes, or even your friends or loved ones gives you. It's not rocket science. It's not something that you don't already know. But she was like, you stressing out and being anxious and having anxiety over something does not change the outcome. It only impacts you negatively. And I was like, damn, you right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to go on social media. We're going to go on the news. We're going to go to the grocery store. Like, me and my daughter was just eating lunch yesterday. And as we were leaving, my daughter was like, did you hear the table behind us? Because me and my daughter was talking about Vice President Kamala Harris. And she said that as soon as they heard me say Kamala Harris, they started talking about Trump in the table behind us. And this is what the conversation and the energy is going to be for the next several months. So at the end of the day, like my therapist said, focus on the things that you have control over, and the things that you don't, do what you can. And all we can do is go to the polls and vote for Kamala Harris and keep it moving. And one of the things, especially being a spiritual person, we have to be very careful of a spiritual attack. And by that, I mean, when we're looking, like for me personally, I started out the week high. And I don't mean high on drugs, but I mean high in a happy way, because I felt empowered after talking to my brother and after just, feeling a little bit nervous, but then, actually conversating with my family and like, oh snap, this is about to be amazing thing for the whole country. I felt great. And then as soon as I opened up my phone, I was inundated by just toxicity coming at me. And it affects us. We can sit here and say all day that, oh, I'm just on my phone and it is what it is, but that shit is affecting you. And this rhetoric and the negativity, especially about Kamala Harris, they are pushing that out to you in a way that they're wanting it to absorb inside of your mental. Like, it is truly a initiative. It is truly intentional. It is truly not by chance what the news is projecting, because we have to be prayed up. We have to be, connected to our source, to our family, to our friends, and not let this political situation that we're in take over our lives and our minds, our spirits and our energies, because that is truly what they want to happen. They want to, like they have always, they want to beat you down. And if they cannot beat you down physically, they want to beat you down mentally. And they know that we are on social media and we are looking at TV, and there is so much bullshit on TV. I mean, it's crazy. I saw something on social media, and it was going between the debate with Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. I think I'm saying his name right. And how like diplomatic and how like nice they were talking to each other. And, Mitt Romney was telling, Obama before the debate, congratulations on your wedding anniversary. And it was just so, of course you're there to do a job. You're there to debate, but you're two people with political past, and, you're not reality TV stars. You're not felons. They keep forcing this stuff on you because they're literally trying to impact you by any means necessary. With Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, they were two real politicians who had difference of opinion, but they had morals, they had values, they had, just professionalism at the bare minimum. And there wasn't any talk of porn stars and felons and pussies and things like that, because they're professional people who respect the country and respect America, and in their own ways truly genuinely want what's best for the country. They're not coming in here to be dictators. They're coming in here to, whether we agree or not with their stance and their opinions, they're coming to be a president, not a dictator. And so I say all that to say, it's such a vast difference when you're dealing with someone like Donald Trump, who, he was literally a reality TV star, and now he's bringing his reality TV antics to the top job in America, which is a presidency, and how he's gotten this far is beyond me. Here's something that does bother me as someone that's pretty social, someone that knows a lot of people. One thing I hate about all of this is the divisiveness. And I think that one of the many reasons why I'm so pro Kamala Harris and so anti Donald Trump is because Donald Trump, when he was in office, when he is just on your TV screen, he's not even in office. He's just running for the presidency. And his energy it just exudes divisiveness. Nothing of his energy exudes bring everybody together for the common good of America. It really breeds left against right. Not meeting in the middle, not teamwork. And that's one of the reasons that it's so detrimental, like, to just the thought of him winning. We see what happened when he was in office. We see what happens when he did not get elected and the temper tantrum that he threw. We saw the insurrection. We saw, him lying in court, him getting evicted for a felon. Getting convicted for a felon, and for felony. And I hate this because I don't even like talking negatively about anybody, honestly, even Donald Trump. I know for a fact that Donald Trump is probably a nice person deep down. I think he's a nice person deep down. I think that he's just a person who is all for self. He gives me narcissist vibes. And, I think that he is just on a power trip. And I always reference back to him saying if he ever ran for presidency, he would run as a Republican because they're idiots and they'll follow anybody. And he's actually doing that in real time, in real life. And they're like, yep, we're idiots. We'll follow you. It's just crazy. And then even his own vice president, there's so many people his nephew, the vice president, there are so many people who know him personally. His vice president, which was his right, his left hand, right hand man or whatever for 4 years, is like, he couldn't even give a vote or endorse Trump and sleep at night because he knows that it would be the worst thing for the country. So if your best friend or if you're a president and you're a vice president or you're, someone that close to you who knows what you stand for, knows your ethics, knows, what your desires are, what your desires aren't. If someone that close to you can say, nah, I wouldn't vote for him, that should say a lot. But it goes back to my previous episode, and it's more so ignorance, cult-like behavior, just like Donald Trump said, people being idiots following anybody just because. Now, I just hate talking about this. And I was talking about the divisiveness, and I have a lot of friends of all different races, all different ethnicities. And one thing that makes me very sad, and makes me just sad, is I don't ever want my white friends to feel any kind of way about my views. I don't want my white friends to think of me as a radical Democrat or whatever, because I'm not Democrat or Republican. Y'all, there's always some type of bug or something flying over here. It makes me so sad. But the thing of it is that I ultimately just hate the divisiveness of this election. Now I'm gonna play something that is just mind blowing to me. And I'm gonna let you guys hear this, okay?
That having Vice President Kamala Harris as the nominee dramatically changes Donald Trump's odds of winning.
I'm worried about it.
Yes. I think she's going to go for the minority and female and younger voters.
Progressive.
Everybody's excited about her.
Right.
And that scares me.
Right.
You know, because Trump has to reconfigure where he's going and how they're going to outsmart her.
How do you perceive Vice President Harris compared to President Biden in terms of competency and experience?
I think she's worse. She doesn't even know what's going on at the border.
Right.
And that's what she was
supposed to be doing
and in charge of. I mean, as a school teacher, if I did not do what I was supposed to be doing, you better believe my job would be in jeopardy. Well, it isn't. It not only was her job not in jeopardy, she was just handed a promotion.
Is there anyone that Kamala Harris could appoint as her vice president that you would find reassuring, would make you consider voting for her?
No.
Never considered voting for her. No.
I would do RFK Jr. way before her.
Same. Absolutely.
Yeah. And she's not the first woman to run for the presidency, Hillary Clinton. I'm assuming no one voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. So it's not necessarily going to sway you to vote for a woman in office. When do you think America will have a female president?
When there's a competent one.
I don't get a good feel for her.
I think she's an idiot.
Right.
Mary, why do you think that she's not that bright?
Because she hasn't done
Supposed to be doing
anything in the time that she's had. We don't know anything about her as far as her 3 years so far in the White House. She's not real smart. That's my opinion. It could be wrong.
If Vice President Kamala Harris wins the election, do you think that will be an honest result?
No one respects her.
So that was Trump supporters weighing in on Vice President Harris.
Unbelievable. Now, Mary, girl, here's the thing that's so crazy to me. Like, these women who are sitting in this little semicircle, you are the kind of women that Donald Trump wouldn't look twice at. He's not here for you. He is not here for you. And I'm quite sure that women like you disgust him. You don't disgust me. I think you're lovely ladies, but you're voting for someone who likely looks at you in disgust. Now, they talk about Kamala Harris being an idiot. Let's just talk about some of Kamala Harris's previous political experience, right? She was the Senator of California from 2017 to 2021. She was the Attorney General of California from 2011 to 2017. And she was the District Attorney of San Francisco from 2004 to 2011. Now, when I go to Trump and I say, what is Trump's political history and experience, and it just says that he is a businessman who's owned, managed, and licensed hotels, casinos, golf courses, resorts, and properties. Now, let's not give him that much credit, because it's not as if he was a rags to riches story and he was able to like learn and go to college and do all these things to like be a businessman. No, it was handed to him from his family. He is a businessman with failed businesses. He's a businessman with a history of failed businesses. And that's the part that is just mind blowing. And it just lets you know for 100% fact, when you have a reality star, a felon, a grab him by the pussies advocate versus a senator, a district of attorney, a vice president, and you have these women looking at these two options, and you're going to call the educated vice president, district attorney senator, all this experience, she's the idiot and she's the dumb one. So you know 100% fact that this ain't based on qualifications. This is based on your personal opinion, whether it be her being a woman, whether it be her being a minority. This is not based on substantiated reasoning as to why you don't want to vote for Kamala, and not only why you don't want to vote for her, why you find it reasonable to call this educated, experienced woman a idiot. So you know what you're dealing with, and you know that this is not, like I said, substantiated by reasoning. This is substantiated by personal opinion. So they're not voting based on the actual stance and the actual, qualifications of the presidency. They're voting on their own personal opinion of the candidate. And for them to say that, a woman shouldn't be in office until they can find a competent one. I would love to know Mary, aren't you the teacher, Mary? Isn't Mary the teacher? This makes me afraid to know that teachers of our children have these crazy, uneducated opinions, strong enough opinion to where you feel comfortable as a teacher of children to get on a TV screen as a teacher of children and say the dumbest stuff, and then have the nerve to call somebody else an idiot. And this is what I mean by you gotta protect your mental health. You have to protect your mental health. Because this is the dumbest thing. Like, one thing about me, child, I cannot stand dumb stuff. I cannot stand ignorance. I cannot stand drama and problems for no reason. And I want to say this because I want to be very clear. Because I'm endorsing and voting for Kamala Trump, it don't mean you have to. You better. But at the end of the day, I'm smart enough to be able to understand that my opinions might be different from yours, and I don't have to call you an idiot or whatever. Now, I know for the psychos in the comments who ain't got nothing to do, yeah, I called Charleston White an idiot and a lot of other things because he was attacking a minority woman. But at the end of the day, if I'm actually talking to another educated person who can actually have a conversation and actually be able to back up what they're saying without putting someone down, then that's how a conversation should flow. And again, for these women to feel comfortable and convicted in the state of Wisconsin to, call Vice President, Harris an idiot. And, they love to talk about the border. They love to talk about the border. And here is my transparent moment. I ain't never been nobody who has been into politics. Honestly, I try to stay away from CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. I just don't want it in my energy field, to be honest with you. So I know someone who is like that when I hear them. And so some of the popular things that you always hear Republicans talking about and Trump talking about that's just low-hanging fruit is the border. But I guarantee if you were to ask them more, concentrated, specific questions about policies and things of that nature, they would have no backing to support their strong negative opinions about Kamala Harris. And, that's just who we're dealing with. So at the end of the day, I just don't want to do a lot of talking about this election because I want people to come to my channel as a kind of a getaway from the mess. But at the end of the day, you can't avoid it. So all you can do is protect yourself, guard your family, prepare as much as you can, vote the right way, and keep it moving. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next episode.